10, 9. Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
In a spaceship. The show where we talk about science and fiction and science fiction and conspiracy theories. Conspiracy.
I can't wait for the day that we talk about conspiracy theories.
We'll get there.
We'll
get there
a whole
eventually.
episode of conspiracy theories, dude.
But then everybody's gonna have to get out their tinfoil hats and
That's all I've ever wanted, Logan.
It's like that part of the movie where like they have you put on the 3D glasses, like, please put on your tinfoil hat now, so the government can't read your brain. Is that what that's for? Is that what that theory is? The government can't read your brain with the tinfoil hat? Because the government doesn't have technology to like supervent, tinfoil, my one weakness.
It's funny that you say tinfoil because it's aluminum. Cracks me up.
Yeah, I'm an old man. I thought we talked about this.
So the idea, no, I'm the old man. I use paper and pencils. Anyway, that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. Apparently, the tinfoil thing is so government and aliens can't read your thoughts,
because,
your brain.
Again, I mean, because, sufficiently advanced alien technology that would, travel the cosmos. Tinfoil, though, aluminum foil can't. God damn it! It just we're so close. Almost got those secrets.
They got us.
Why would they want to read our brains anyway?
I don't know.
It's just,
testing, hamsters.
Testing, just...
What do they think about? Well, it's a lot of fornication.
How much could I learn from your anus? That is my question.
Let me put things in there.
Just keep... That's what it is. They're not learning anything like...
They're just getting their rocks off.
Wonder how many things I can put in his butthole. I don't know. Try the big one. Oh, really? Yeah, just do it.
Just go for it.
He won't remember. It's fine. You ever notice they're always from like they're always from the South, like deep South?
Oh yeah.
You think that's just because logically nobody's gonna believe them, and they know that ahead of time?
Yeah. No offense to anyone from the deep South, by the way.
I'm super offended. I hope you're offended. Hope you're all offended. I hope we get no fans in the Deep South. Because, man, fuck those guys. They're talking shit about us and our NASCAR and trucker hats and
Talladega.
shit. Talladega. Ricky Bobby. So anyway, yeah. Let's jump into it.
What's your name?
What?
What's your name?
What's your name?
My name is
Say
Austin.
my name, bitch.
Say my name. Say my name.
You guys know our names. I'm Logan Taylor.
I'm Austin Merrill.
And we're just gonna
Jump
go
into
from
it.
there.
Yep.
I really have no idea what we're doing.
No.
But you guys still seem to like us. So, Mystery Girl. Yeah. Heard shit's been going down with that. What's going on there?
There's nothing going on.
There's something going on.
I don't know. There might be something going on. I don't know.
Man, I got here and there was candles. Dude,
Yeah.
we should tell him the candles thing. So like,
Go.
I walk into his house, and like, Mystery Girl, which I will disclose her name later. Leave it all mysterious. But anyway, no, there's candles lit. So I'm like, okay, like one candle, like cool, just a broing out with one candle. Scented, I'm fine, whatever. But no, they were placed around the room, and there's 3 of them. And I'm like, I feel like I shouldn't be sitting on this couch. But,
No. Okay. So, I burn candles from time to time.
Yeah.
I do. But I will admit, there was one candle in this room when I got home. And I hunted down more candles.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I made the conscious decision to light candles before she got here, okay? End of story.
It's all the ambiance.
Yeah, okay. Anyway,
I'm just gonna air out all of your laundry, all of it. Everybody has to know.
No, I mean it's whatever. I don't know the deets. You asked for the deets. I don't know the deets myself.
No, I mean it's just I'm nosy. That's all
I
it
know.
is. I
I appreciate it.
like to be part of your life.
No, I mean, everything's going okay, as far as I can tell.
She's in the room.
I don't. Okay, so I'm in a scenario right now where like I know that I like her, and I think that she likes me back, and I don't know what it is.
Did you slide her the note with the beer?
I should have. I would probably
Do you like me?
check yes or no. No, I'm kind of in that scenario where you don't really know what's going on, but you kind of like it a little bit.
No, that's cool.
So,
I mean, it wasn't like weird when I got here.
yeah,
I didn't expect it to be weird, but I half expected it to be like, what's going on?
yeah,
What's going on in here, you guys? I didn't even notice the candles till like halfway.
I know.
I was there for a good couple minutes, and I was like,
Wait a
Huh.
second.
there's an uncomfortable amount of candles in here for just broing out.
Yeah.
It's cool if you want to, tea lights and take a bath. I'm not here to judge.
I like burning candles from time to time. But you caught me. You
yeah,
caught me.
yeah.
You caught me.
Trying to put the moves.
No moves. I don't got the moves.
Got the moves.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on, but I like it, and I'm gonna kind of hang out.
No, I
So-
dig that. I just, she seems pretty cool.
Yeah.
You seem pretty cool.
Yeah, she's here by the way, which
Yeah.
is making this even more awkward.
That's the point.
But yeah. So moving on. I
We're just
mean, okay. Sorry if this gets weird. So I brought her coffee at work. Like I feel like that's kind of a boyfriend move.
Yeah, see, I mentioned that because I understand you don't. I understand you just being nice, and I understand you look at that kind of stuff as like I'm just being nice.
That's my love language.
Yeah.
Like that's how I show.
Like
affection.
if you brought me a coffee at work, like I'd be surprised, but it wouldn't be like I don't. It wouldn't be that out of character for you as a person.
Yeah.
However, that is a boyfriend move.
Yeah.
So like,
and she brought me a peanut butter milkshake today. So
which is kind of a boyfriend move as well. Are you his boyfriend?
I hope so.
It's they're cute and it's gross, and it makes me nauseous.
Thanks, buddy.
Love you.
Love you too.
Let's. The story that I told you that you apparently already knew ruined all of the fun.
Mad Jack Churchill.
Yeah.
Bum bum bum.
This dude in World War II, named Jack Churchill, who can't find it. Okay, there it is. So, somebody posted it on Facebook. It was a screenshot from a Tumblr post that was just. It kind of described this guy as like a Chuck Norris of, World War II. And so in this picture, it's got Jack, and then like I think 4 or 5 other soldiers getting off this amphibious vehicle, and dude's carrying a fucking sword,
a saber.
I was like, what the shit is this? So I had to dig deeper. Turns out this guy was a fucking badass.
Well, okay. He was carrying it wasn't like a drill and ceremony saber.
It's like a legit fucking war saber.
Like a crossguard. Like homeboy is carrying around a crossguard.
Fuck. No, so what got me was one of the things that mentioned was the fact that he's the only confirmed longbow kill. And I was like, there's no way that's fucking true. 100% true. So the story behind that is they were doing a mission, and they were just camping, waiting on the Nazis to show up, and he said he was going to signal when it was time to attack by that's a dog, by shooting the first Nazi he saw with a fucking bow. And it's exactly what he did. He took out the staff sergeant of this platoon, and like Nazis had to be freaking the fuck out. Staff sergeant goes down, goddamn arrow in his chest. Like, what is going on here?
I didn't sign up for this
I
shit.
didn't sign up for this shit. But no, like the other story I liked was he also carried bagpipes because that was a thing that you could. I didn't even know you could. Can you just you're military, is military,
Sort of.
Can you just bring your own instruments and shit? Is that something?
No.
So, that makes it even cooler. He's like, nah, I'm gonna bring my sword and my bagpipes, and so yeah, he played bagpipes. So they're on this mission, and only 6 of them made it to the objective, and then they got hit by a mortar shell, and everybody was either wounded or dead, but Jack, who then proceeded to play bagpipes as the Nazis showed up to capture him. Then he escapes once from a concentration camp, gets captured a second time, escapes a second time, walks 93 miles to Italy, picked up by some allies who were like, nah, dude, war's over. He's like, bugger.
What a bugger.
So that is the most badass World War II story I've ever heard. I didn't think he was real.
Yeah, he's real. He's a real guy.
It was pretty dope.
Was a real guy. I'm not sure what his...
No, he, according to the wiki page, he died in, I think, 1994. Mm-hmm. He was like 88. So ripe old age, did all this badass shit and was like,
There's a really good quote that I like that I think pertains to him. And this is not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but it goes, fear an old man who worked in an industry where men die young.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that a lot.
I think that's great.
Huh.
I've been into quotes lately. I've been really into quotes lately.
Been getting all motivational.
Yeah. Like another one I just was like, your life can be
You
summed
posted,
up. Yeah, dude. Your life
Did
can be
you?
Yeah, your life can be summed up by 2 dates and a dash. Make the most of that dash. I love that. I think that's great. I Insta.
No, it's not that you Insta. It's your Instagramming. It's the verb tense for that. Anyway, quotes, like,
Sometimes.
ugh, you're so basic.
Yeah.
You're such a basic white girl. It's gross. Go drink your pumpkin spice latte and get you some Uggs. And do you have Uggs? I feel like you would have.
I don't
Uggs.
have Uggs.
You have Mandels. Those still make me angry.
I have Mandels?
Yeah, the fucking sandal shit with socks.
Hey, now I wear them around the house.
And they're like the ones from the 90s that got the big flap in the middle. They're like slippers, but they're kind of like sandals.
Those are my flippers, bro. Back off my flippers.
They're Mandels. They're not okay.
Leave me alone.
Hurt my heart.
Leave me alone.
We're not at the beach. It's fucking January.
Look, I didn't want to put shoes on to get my pizza, okay?
Yeah. You put on, I don't know, throw on untied boots like a normal man.
Is this what this is? Is this just Attack Austin Day?
No,
is that what it
I'm
is?
just fucking with you. So let's, we were going to talk about space. Because I do love me some space.
Space.
I wish you wouldn't do that.
Sorry.
No, I'm just no, I want to talk about the future of space travel because I'm a huge
And colonization.
Well, yeah,
That's an objective, by the way. Don't know if you knew that or not about them, about SpaceX.
What, SpaceX? Hell yes. Elon Musk is like
CEO and CTO. What? Get a life.
it's like, well, he's just revolutionizing. Oh wait, did you hear about the car?
Car.
So Tesla, his car company.
Oh right, I knew that. Yeah.
Sending his own personal Tesla to Mars.
No, he's
Dude,
not.
swear to God.
No, he's
like
not.
the first mission to Mars, he's legit taking one of his personal Teslas and sending it to space.
That's metal.
It is metal. But like, could you imagine the first like alien civilization we come across is just because if he does this, if he follows through and does this, there will be just a car floating in space, which is the weirdest sentence to say out loud. And I don't.
You can't even drive it.
You
up
can't
there.
even drive it. Like, but
How much is a Tesla?
Fuck, I'll look it up.
They're like $100,000, aren't they?
Well, I mean, I reckon if you own the company, you can cut discounts and shit.
Well,
I mean, I'm assuming that's how it works. Let's see. Tesla.
I just
spelled that wrong.
Just imagining a $100,000 car floating through space.
Yeah, it's more than 100,000.
Oh, right. Really?
Okay, Tesla's new supercar will cost at least 200,000. Says the base model costs 200,000, and you can reserve one today.
Yeah, okay.
For a deposit of $50,000.
That car costs more than my entire.
And he's
house.
just like, nah, I'm gonna just throw this bitch in space. Like, would it without anything to like damage it? Like, would it survive? Like, how long would it survive just floating in deep space? In theory, indefinitely, but like, I mean,
I don't know. It depends on.
Do we know what solar radiation does to like paint?
I don't know.
Like, I'm hoping that it like just floats outside of Mars, like completely cherry, and just becomes like like a tourist attraction. See the first car in space.
And you can't even drive it.
No, well, everything would freeze, wouldn't it?
Yeah. In theory, yeah.
Could you still get in it?
If you were like the fucking Hulk and you could rip the door open, maybe.
So you think it would like freeze the seams and shit?
Yeah.
Huh?
Wouldn't it?
I don't know.
I think it would.
I
just imagine it being like underwater. Like, you know how hard it is to open a door underwater? That's kind of what I imagine.
Yeah, the thing though, there's, it's hard to open a door underwater because there's pressure.
Right.
There is no pressure in space. It's a vacuum.
True.
It is the absence of pressure.
True.
More importantly, could you start a car in space?
Probably not.
Why not?
Doesn't it require oxygen?
I mean, yeah, but if there's anything, well, it depends on how long it's floating. You can shoot a gun in space.
Yeah, that's true.
So, I mean, I know there's two drastically different things, but I don't know. These are things we need to find out.
Yeah, you're right.
So, propulsion, though. Can we talk about
dude.
Space propulsion?
Yeah.
It's dope as shit. Because, like, we're close to warp reactors.
You take the propulsion, and I'll take the dragon.
Okay, that's right. He read an article today.
Yeah, I did.
And he wanted to
tell
me about it. I can actually read.
Welcome,
no,
Jared. I never learned how to fucking read.
No, the ideas for the propulsion systems are starting to get super sci-fi, and I like it, but it's also kind of, I don't know. We were born at that point where like a lot of technological advancement really fast, but I'm just worried I won't, get to become a space freighter. That's
all you ever wanted.
That's my biggest fear, is that I will never become a space freighter. I don't even have to go far. Like moon to Earth. I mean, planets within our system. Fine with that. I just want to move cargo. Big old space trucker.
big old
space trucker. Technically, that's what Han Solo was, right?
Yeah, big old space.
Big old space trucker with his bear sidekick.
Bear.
But no, some of the weird propulsion systems they've proposed, if I can find that article. Well, you're familiar with fusion energy, right?
Yep.
Okay. So fusion energy, the idea for using that as a form of propulsion is essentially you just use it to generate the electrical current, because you can get a lot more out of it than you put into it, or at least that's the theory for true fusion. But we started getting into weird shit like the ion drive, which uses xenon, which is pretty dope, and then it's ionized and accelerated by an electrical field and then shot out the back like some fucking Star Trek shit. But it's slow to begin with, and then it picks up speed as it goes. But no, solar sails. I saw a whole YouTube video about solar sails.
I have no idea what solar sails are.
Okay.
Enlighten me.
Do you remember the movie Treasure Planet?
Mm-hmm.
All the ships and stuff, the way they were like space boats.
Yeah, basically.
And they use sails. Well, the reason they were able to fly with those sails, I thought, anytime I've seen solar sails in like documentaries and shit, when the probe actually gets into space, it opens this massive like gold, just huge reflective solar sail. I assumed that it was just massive and absorbed a bunch of light and then converted that into electrical energy and then used that for propulsion. Yep. Turns out that when the way sunlight, I don't remember what the whole explanation was, but to paraphrase, sunlight actually it has energy, and so yeah, sunlight, I mean, it obviously has energy, but it's got like sunlight technically has mass, which I think is cool. And long story short, when you have this like huge reflective panel, the photons from the sunlight actually pile up on the solar sail and actually causes it to move forward, causes a reaction that way. So you are literally sailing on light in space because science.
That's the most poetic thing.
Right? It was like a whole like 20-minute video explaining how solar sails work. I was baffled. I was like, really? That's awesome.
Yeah.
And I couldn't even process.
It's almost romantic.
It is almost romantic.
If you think about it in the right light, it's almost romantic.
Right light. Look at those puns. Those unintentional puns. This whole list has like has quite a few different fusion. I read about this one before. Nano spacecraft is this idea. It's technically still using light to propel an object, but you use these little tiny, like, I want to say like the size of like a silver dollar, or I guess people still use those? Half dollar?
I haven't seen one. I haven't seen one since
like the 90s.
Yeah, I think I was probably like 7 years old.
But yeah, so really small, really light, and then you just launch a whole bunch of them at once, and then you fire a laser at it, and then it's able to reach incredibly fast speeds. So the thought process is you can send these distances of light years and not have to worry light years without having to deal with quantum travel, because they're so small and so light. You can get them to those speeds because you're not trying to move that much mass that distance. So I think that was it on that list.
It's crazy.
Space is dope.
Okay, so going off of the topic of propulsion and space travel and space pirates and dirty space truckers.
Dirty space truckers. It'd be like a space truck stop. Dirty space hookers. Can I get a ride?
Space lot lizards.
Space lot lizards. But they actually would probably look like lizards.
Reptilian.
Like reptilians.
Well, speaking of reptiles, so SpaceX, I read this article today, because I read things.
What?
Excuse me. So apparently, I didn't know this. I didn't know that in 2012, this was in May of 2012, SpaceX
Yes.
sent the Dragon
Yes.
1.0
Yeah.
to ISS, International Space Station.
I know they have been doing a lot of like testing and stuff. I've been watching a lot of the rocket launch videos and shit.
For me, I didn't know that they actually had sent anything actually like into space. I thought it was a bunch of testing.
Yeah.
That's what I thought it was.
I also did.
Apparently in 2012, they actually sent the Dragon up.
Which again is still one of the coolest names for a capsule. It's like, we're gonna ride the Dragon.
The Dragon. So apparently, I didn't know this, but I was actually telling you yesterday. I think it was yesterday, day before, about how
Austin has no concept of time.
True.
What is time?
I transcend it.
I transcend time.
But I didn't know that they had actually sent anything into space, like outside of the atmosphere. I didn't know that. So I was explaining what SpaceX was, and I had mentioned like they haven't sent anything yet into space, but they're working on it, and they're getting there, and they're testing, blah, blah, blah. But apparently in 2012, they actually sent this thing to the ISS and did a resupply, a successful resupply.
Was it empty going up?
No, it was full of...
so it was like a legit resupply mission. Okay.
It didn't have a crew.
Yeah.
But it was
yeah,
controlled.
that was something that baffled me when they first unveiled the Dragon. They're like, okay, this is... I was like, okay, that looks, it's space shuttle. I've seen these before, right? Yeah. Like, nah, it's got like, it's self-driving because, space is difficult to get to. So we're just... Let me take care of that for you. And I was like, what?
That's cool. It's cool taking out like the gamble of life.
Well,
that was kinda cool.
I mean, a lot of what's held up, a lot of NASA's biggest setbacks have been tragedies due to minor structural issues or there was that one the Challenger, that was nothing to do with the crew, but faulty equipment caused the whole thing to explode.
Yep.
Now, in theory, if you have the whole thing covered in sensors, your car tells you when your tires are low.
Mm-hmm.
So, if it can scan itself and be like, I think everything's cool, and I hope it would be more confident than that. But I think we could go to space today.
You should be okay. If I blow up, I blow up.
It's fine. Don't worry about it. No, I think that's really cool though. So
the Dragon. So I thought it was really cool that they had actually had a successful mission into fucking space.
That's awesome.
So it was successful. It was a totally successful resupply mission. Came back. They salvaged it, right? They sent the bitch up again.
It's like, we still got more fuel? Fuck yeah, we got more fuel. Let's do it again.
They reused it. So this article that I read, the Dragon was actually designed to be reused. Like, that was the whole idea behind it. So, apparently, a big thing with the SpaceX mindset is to do space travel cheaper.
Well, yeah, that's been the biggest, it's been the most expensive thing for NASA anyway, because the solid fuel boosters and the chemical rockets, once they're jettisoned for mid-launch, I mean, they just fall to the ground. They recover what they can and essentially have to rebuild the whole thing over again.
Fuck it,
and that's and not only is that insanely expensive, but that gets difficult and time consuming because you got to track everything down. So like, yeah, we'll just take a booster and just put it back on the ground. That'll be cool.
Let's see here. Okay, so it did its maiden flight in 2010.
Okay.
It was the first commercially built and operated spacecraft to be recovered
See, that
successfully.
Statement alone still blows me away. That you have some dude who's like, I really like space. I'm gonna
send shit up there.
Yeah, I got a shit ton of money. I'm gonna just start putting things in space. And the fact that the government's like, well, we don't really have a space program anymore, so like, we'll let you use our launch pads if
yeah, sure,
send a little bit of tech our way.
Let's see here. May 25th, 2012, cargo variant of the Dragon became the first commercial spacecraft to successfully rendezvous and attach to the ISS.
Completely, totally remotely, though, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
Totally remotely, no crew. And they're making it a crew service.
See, and that's the thing. As much as I appreciate the amount of work and time and effort that goes into like becoming an astronaut and logging all these flight hours and how difficult it. I mean, I've played enough space sims and flight sims to know that it's not, it's not easy at all, especially when you're actually in space and microgravity and stuff. The minor adjustments all the time. They have all the, I think it's called an RCS module. Which helps control a lot of that, and keeps the minor adjustments. It compensates for that, so you don't just start drifting everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
But so we've already had computer controlled systems like that for a while. But realistically, now you can take scientists. You don't have to have a pilot as part of your crew, and I think that's pretty dope. Yeah, so space is cool as shit, but random tangent just kind of popped in my head.
Fuck it, YOLO.
Fuck it, YOLO. Who says that anymore?
Me, bitch.
Nobody says that anymore.
Fuck it, YOLO.
So I have my phone up looking at that propulsion article, and I have this habit of I open way too many tabs.
Yep.
I'm a multi-tab
there's
person.
like 10 tabs open on my phone.
Dude, I'm clocking 18 tabs.
Dang.
Yeah, because I don't like to forget shit.
Your RAM is probably...
Yeah, it's probably my
in the
battery
trash.
dies way faster than it probably should. But no, because I keep wanting to tell people this story, and I keep forgetting about it. So this, would have been November, because the name's weird. I went to Germany with some friends, and we went to Oktoberfest.
I wasn't there.
Austin wasn't there. We weren't friends back then.
What? We were friends. I just didn't go.
No. It was me and Maddie and our friend Joey and his wife. So we all went to Oktoberfest and did the whole Europe thing. But no, the weirdest thing was none of us spoke any German. None. I mean, I know a couple swear words, but like that's not gonna really get you anywhere.
Nope.
So conveniently, I think I ran into one guy where I asked for a smoke. He didn't even speak any English. Because we had to stay at a hotel the first night before we got our Airbnb. So we just decided to kind of wander around. It's fucking like 2 a.m. So we decided to wander around the streets of Munich at like 2 a.m. So we came across this bar, and there's this guy standing outside smoking. I just wanted some smokes, right? I've been on a train for like 8 hours, and I just like, dude, I just want a cigarette. My vape's at home because I didn't want to deal with that on a plane. So anyway, I walk up to this guy.
You can actually take it on a plane, just so you know.
I thought it had to be empty and like no batteries and shit in it. Or it can be in your carry-on.
You cannot. Okay, so the batteries can't be in the vape. It can't be in the mod itself. Yeah. But what I did.
Doesn't the tank?
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Doesn't the tank have to be empty as well?
Mine wasn't.
Oh, see, I thought
I flew to Florida, and I took the batteries out, put them in my pocket, closed the side of my mod, and put it in the other pocket. Actually, no, funny story. I'm going to break into this story. So, at the vape, the mod that I had at that time leaked a little bit.
Ah, shit.
So I wrapped it up in.
Oh no.
No, yeah, hang on.
I know where this is going.
So I wrapped it up in napkins, not napkins, like paper towel, right?
Dude.
And then I put it in a plastic baggie.
Dude.
And I was wearing tall socks, and I didn't want that bitch in my pocket while I was trying to sleep on the plane. So I tucked it into my sock.
Dude. That's a battery-operated device in a baggie wrapped in paper towel in your sock. Yeah. If I was TSA, I would have tackled your ass too.
Nobody caught it. Nobody caught my plastic baggie.
That's the TSA.
Wrapped in my sock. Nobody caught that. So when I get to Florida, my mom is waiting for me out at like the little pickup area.
Yeah.
And we're getting ready to walk out the door. So I'm like, and I reach down and I pull this thing out of my sock.
Oh,
my mom goes, "What the fuck is that?" She was like, "What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? We're still in the airport." And I'm like, "No, it's my vape." She was like, "You don't just pull shit out of your sock in an airport." So that's what I did. I took my batteries out and I put them in my pocket, and then I wrapped up my vape and put it in my sock. Don't put it in your sock. I see now in hindsight that was a bad idea. But you can take it. You can't carry any more than 100 ml bottle.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh, see, I didn't. Well, and a lot of those rules probably changed to accommodate that because the e-cigarettes.
I'm not gonna leave mine at home. Fuck that. No.
Anyway, so I wanted an actual cigarette. Fuck, I'm on vacation, right?
Yeah, I feel that.
So random dudes outside. Me and Maddie were just wandering around, and we found an ATM because we wanted to get some cash, and then saw this guy standing outside smoking. So I walked up to him and I was like, "Hey man, do you know where I can get some some cigarettes, some smokes?" And he just kind of looked at me. He didn't quite understand. And I was like, "Yeah, you know where I can, And I started pointing to his cigarette and doing the smoking motion.
Uh-huh.
And he looked at me and he was like, you want one? I was like, fuck. I mean, yeah, sure. I'll take one. And he's like, here. And so I started smoking, and then I was like, yeah, this is cool for now, but like, do you know where the nearest gas station? And he still didn't understand it. And I'm just like, sprechen Sie English? And he gave me the dirtiest look and was like, sprechen Sie Deutsch? And I was like, wow, my first time offending somebody in a foreign country. This is going to go well. And I was like, no. And then I think I asked him again, and he was kind of just like, nah, I don't, I'm not from here. And I was like, cool, man. And I just walked away. We ended up finding one, but it was just the weirdest. But no,
this is Germany.
Yeah, this is Germany.
Speak German.
I'm sorry. I'm uncultured swine. But no, where this tangent went into was there's one of the nights that after Oktoberfest, we were just chilling out in our Airbnb. This is probably 2 or 3 days later. It was just, very simple little apartment. Like, I think it was one actual bedroom, and then there was like a fold-out couch. So there's nothing fancy about it. And there was like basic cable. Well, it's German cable. So like, again, it's not like you can just flip it to something that. So we're just watching unsubtitled German cable, and it was kind of enjoyable. But so you know how Cartoon Network has Adult Swim, right?
Yep. Love Adult Swim.
There's Toonami. You know Toonami? Mm-hmm. Okay. So the Toonami guy kind of hosts that show, right? Apparently, and I did all this research after, the show that was on was this weird looking puppet thing. And it was just, of course, again, none of us spoke German, so we didn't know. He just looks really sad. He's got these sunken in eyes, and it's like, he looked kind of like a piece of toast. So as we watched it, because it was, I guess at this time, they played this like same episode or the same, because they're like little shorts, kind of like the Toonami thing where he does like the little whatever in-betweens, right? Mm-hmm. So it's these little skits with this puppet, and for like an hour and a half, and then it just repeats itself for like 4 hours. That's just to fill the block, right? But it's just so I dug into it, tried to find this as soon as I got back home. I tried to figure it out because I'm like, this is super weird and I have to know what the fuck I just saw. The channel or show or whatever you want to call it is called the Kika Lounge, and which is incredibly like contradictory for what I was watching. The character's name is Bern das Brot, which loosely translated is to burned the bread. He is a piece of toast. I'll see if I can pull up a picture for you.
Yes, please.
But the research I did, he was, I guess, real popular in like the 2000s, like late 90s, 2000s. But the way he's animated, he's got his mouth moves. So like the center of the bread, his mouth moves. But you know how a lot of those puppets, you have the stick that controls like the arms and shit? Mm-hmm. No. There's hands, just these rubber hands glued to the side. So whenever he's walking off screen, the arms just kind of flail around. And so, we come home from Oktoberfest, we're drunk as shit, and this is what we're watching, and it was amazing. And I had to figure out more. So this is Bern das Brot.
Oh my god.
He looks like he's seen some shit.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't really, he he looked sad, and I felt like, and in all the little skits, like the things that are happening, I'm just like, poor guy. I don't know how to help you. I don't really speak your language, but I feel like I should do something. Somebody should say something. But yeah, that was.
No, he looks like he's been places.
Yeah,
he's seen some awful things.
He's seen some things. But yeah, that was so weird. It was probably one of the weirdest things that happened in Germany. Oh yeah, by the way, Germans super cool. Like everybody was super, and everybody's gorgeous. Like I've never felt more like a fucking cave troll. So what okay, so it's Oktoberfest. So everybody's wearing so we went we wanted to fit in because if you're not wearing lederhosen, or the dress is actually called a dirndl.
I did not know
yes, that is the technical name for that. The barmaid dress is called a dirndl. So we went to this like lederhosen shop, and we all got lederhosen, and Carly got a dirndl, and so because the first day we were just street clothes, and we just felt out of place. So then we go but yeah, I mean, of course, everybody is just fair skinned and just gorgeous, and I'm like, I feel gross. I feel like just this gross fat piece of shit wandering around this festival. But it was cool though, because it's like, you hear stories about Oktoberfest. It's crazy, but it's like their fair. It's like their state fair, and so. But
everybody's drunk.
Yeah, but everybody's drunk. It's like it's like going to a state fair where everybody just consumes outrageous amounts of alcohol, because everything's served in they're liters. They're not pints. They're fucking liters of beer, which is crazy. And the way it's brewed, like there's all these like I forget what the German word for it is, but they're buildings that are actually reserved with the specific breweries that make them, that make the beers. But they only technically make, it's Oktoberfest is the one beer, but the different brew houses make it, right? So, but it's all based on a very strict old Bavarian recipe that has like, there's all these regulations for it to qualify for Oktoberfest. It's a big deal. But no, it was just, it's just not a fish out of water, but I just felt so out of place.
Well, apparently this doesn't help you now because you're back. But apparently, according to all of my army buddies who have been to Germany, apparently German chicks dig American guys.
I've heard the exact opposite. That me and Maddie went to Ireland the year before, and it's like, anything that I always like to try and read up and absorb as much as, so I'm not, just the typical cliche American asshole that they think we are. But the stuff that I've read is that most countries think that they know an American without ever hearing them, because we're apparently just, we tend to be loud, not in volume, but just, I don't know. It was just kind of described that an American when you see one, and I was like,
I could see that.
I could definitely see that.
Well, these army, it might just be the fact that they're in the army. Maybe, I don't know.
I mean, probably.
Who knows? Who knows? But apparently, I had a buddy made a comment. He was like, if you ever go to Germany, be careful. I was like, what does that even mean? He's like, girls there, they try and trap you. They will.
Well, no, that's the other thing too, that Europe has surprised me, because I'm so used to, you and I have talked about how you're an extrovert and I'm an introvert, and we just approach people differently, and by that I mean you approach them and I don't. That's how that works. I'm just like, you look like a cool person, but you should stay over there, and I'll stay here, and we'll just like enjoy our little spaces. But no, everybody's just super friendly, and it's just it was weird, because like whole time I was there, I'm not like, random drunk person comes up to me, they're gonna try and mug me, or I'm not gonna get shot at random just wandering around the city, which is super cool, but then also kind of I don't know. It's kind of jarring because it almost makes you too comfortable. Because you start to get in that mindset, and you're just like,
The next thing you know, you're missing a kidney.
yeah. Next, it happened one time. But no, it was. If you get a chance to actually go to Oktoberfest, it's a lot. Oh, the other thing about that I didn't.
There's literally only one thing keeping me now,
Money.
and it's the passport.
Oh, passport.
That's the only thing that's keeping me.
Wait. Oh, that's right. You said you. I'm surprised you don't have one.
Nope, I never got one.
Oh,
I should.
You should. Just to have them. They're good for.
There's a lot of things that I should just do, but I haven't done it yet.
They're good for I think 10 years now.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, you can get one now. Don't use it for a couple years. They're still good. So, but no, everybody was friendly. But what was crazy about it is it's massive. Like, imagine the biggest state fair, but the rides aren't run by dirty old carnies. And it felt like a mobile theme park. They actually have the biggest roller coaster that's collapsible, movable. It's the biggest mobile roller coaster in the world. And
I don't trust that.
Well, the company that owns it, I guess they take it to all the different festivals all around Germany and stuff. Oktoberfest is just one of them. This thing had 4 loops in it, and it was amazing.
No.
Riding rides drunk sounds terrible, and anything that goes, that spins you around, I don't want to be part of anyway. But no, you get on because it was starting to get kind of chilly. So getting on a roller coaster, drunk as shit when you got that cool air in your face, it's awesome. So cool.
I can't do mobile rides. They just scare the shit
But see,
out
that's
of me.
the thing, though. I mean, they are technically mobile, but the fact that they're still stationary, it's not something they don't just throw together Oktoberfest in a week. It's not. I mean, they do it every year, and it's people come from everywhere. It's not something where you're gonna get on it and it's gonna break and
I'm the type of guy.
everybody's gonna die at Oktoberfest.
I'm the type of guy where, okay, I can't do water parks because they're all super high.
See,
right?
The irony in that statement is what you said before. You don't like open bodies of water. You said you like pools.
Pools are fine.
Okay, so what you're telling me is water parks you can't do, open
No.
bodies of water you can't do. So anything with a goddamn slide, I just want a big box full of water that I can splash around in.
No, okay, the reason why I can't do water parks is totally different from open water. Open water, there's just critters and shit. Ugh. Water parks. Okay, so this happened one time. I'm terrified of heights. I'm absolutely terrified
Really?
of heights. Yes,
What?
it freaks me the fuck
I mean,
out.
is there was there some childhood? We're gonna get deep. Some childhood trauma that caused this fear of heights. I mean, you can't. I mean, that's my irrational fear of sticky substances and whatnot,
Yeah.
which is not as dirty as it sounds.
No, I don't. Not that I can remember, but just for some reason, heights just freak me the fuck out. So I went to a water park.
It's not the falling that'll kill you. It's that
Sudden
last
stop.
It's that last little bit. This little bottom.
It was the ride was fun. Lasted. No. So I have this irrational fear of heights, and I went to a water park one time, and it was fun. When I actually was going down the slide, it was fun.
Yeah.
But walking up these huge fucking slides.
Oh yeah. Well, and
And
then,
it's swaying in the wind,
they're always made out of wood.
And I look down and I see this screw, and I'm like, all it takes is that screw to break, and we're all fucked.
You ever notice that too? No matter where you are, whatever theme park you're at, anytime there's a water park, there, of course, the things are always built out of wood, which I'm still not quite sure because when wood gets wet, it gets slippery. But they're always wet all the time. It's fucking 112 degrees outside, and everything's still fucking wet. It's how is that possible? There's no water here. The water's in the tube.
The water's in the tube. No, I can't do water parks because I go down this weird rabbit trail of just takes that one screw to break and everyone's dead. including me.
I love how that's the transition, though. It's like, it's not like, I could be hurt or I could be injured. It's just everybody just instantly dies.
Everyone dies.
Nobody survives. Everybody's
No
gonna
survivors. That and water parks are like kind of nasty.
Well,
everybody's half naked,
yeah.
just swimming in the cesspool.
Have you seen footage of like water parks or beaches and stuff in like heavily populated areas like China, like Beijing?
Mm-mm.
There's this one really, really big water park in Beijing, and like on, I think Saturday, as you would expect, it's the most popular. Everybody takes out their families. No shit, like the water, you are shoulder to shoulder with everybody else, and it's this big indoor water park. I mean, so there's limited space.
Get your
right?
naked shoulder off of my naked shoulder.
But no, I mean, everybody's just like shoulder to shoulder, and I'm like, no, I don't. Ew.
I'm a hugger, right? I hug people.
Yeah.
But there's clothes between us. I don't want to feel your hairy shoulder on my arm.
There's a vapor barrier there.
Yeah.
Like, a layer of aluminum foil to keep out the gross.
Keep out the gross. No. Just contact with someone I don't know. Ugh. I'm cool with like hugging little old ladies and stuff, but it's like naked skin to skin contact. Ugh. Fuck that.
I don't like physical contact at all. Unless it's with a little old lady.
That's the only time it's acceptable.
Come on. Oh God. Oh, let's talk about the Mandela effect.
Okay.
I feel like we should.
Yeah. Conspiracy theory.
Conspiracy, because we're finally gonna get into a conspiracy theory.
Yes.
Trying to avoid it because he wants to do it so bad. So no, the Mandela effect, as you know, is this weird phenomenon.
If you do know.
Do you know? You know.
I know.
And I know.
Do you know?
Do they know?
Does he know? Does she know?
Okay. So
does anyone really know?
Does anyone really know anything?
This is Dr. Seuss book now.
Oh God. Anyway, so Mandela effect is this this concept. And I'm not even sure if it originated on Reddit or who finally brought it to the forefront and became a big thing on the internet. It's this idea that there's a large portion of the populace that believe Nelson Mandela died in prison, but then there's another portion of people that believe he died when he left prison and then died outside of prison. And so there's this, this back and forth of, he actually in this, he did die outside of prison. What'd you say? You looked it up earlier? Because I couldn't remember.
Yeah.
Okay. So
I remember watching it on the news in like 2013, I think.
Okay. So, but yeah, there's still people who are absolutely convinced that Nelson Mandela died in prison. So people started delving into this. And then I guess they coined the term Mandela effect because the more you get into it, there's just more and more that are, things that you were convinced absolutely true 100% from your childhood or whatever. That's just not. It's
the fucking Berenstain Bears.
Yeah, see, that's what got all the 90s babies, is these, for those of you who don't know, the Berenstain Bears is that book / TV show,
I
whatever.
watched the shit out of that show.
It was really,
I would know. It's Berenstain.
It was, okay. So, the concept was that it was Steen. It was Berenstain Bears, was spelled Stein.
Mm-hmm. Because it was. And then, so people started trying to prove this, like, oh, well, I remember it this way, I remember it this way. In currently, and I guess for all time, it's been the Berenstain, I guess is how you pronounce that. Mm-hmm.
It's AIN, which just had me kind of taken aback and started digging into it. And you start seeing more of this kind of stuff, where stuff that you remember from your childhood isn't supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a conspiracy theory behind that the Large Hadron Collider, CERN, which is, smashing atoms and, discovering parallel dimensions and shit.
And that happened in 2010, right? 2009, 2010?
What, the CERN Hadron Collider?
Yeah.
I think so, but oh yeah, the actual where the Higgs boson.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, this is how the universe was created, and so they're doing all this crazy shit with this Hadron Collider and discovering, how our universe was actually created, and just doing a lot of cool particle physics and stuff that I'm not even qualified to even explain, because that's some crazy ass intense shit. But where it starts to get interesting is where the theories go into like alternate timelines. So the reason, excuse me. So trying to think how to word this. The reason that people think that the reasoning behind the Mandela effect itself is due to every time that the CERN starts, fucking with, atoms and quantum physics and particle physics, they're starting to shift us into other timelines, or they're manipulating the timeline itself, because, time is weird and flux, and when you change, minuscule things, it starts to affect other stuff, like that. So, I think one of the cooler things is the fact that it doesn't seem to affect everybody in the same way. So the Beristain, debacle is one thing that affects one section of people, but
there's tons of examples.
Yeah,
too.
I mean,
there's tons of them. Flintstones.
What about the Flintstones? Don't ruin my childhood, Austin.
Just the
Go on.
For me, it was the Flintstones. Flintstones. For me.
Oh, that's like the fucking. There's a lot of names like that don't make any sense now. But continue.
For me, it was always the Flintstones.
Yes.
With a T.
Yeah.
And it's never had a T, apparently. It's always been the Flintstones.
There's no way.
No shit. My dad has like a Flintstones lunchbox.
No.
That is just, it's FLIN.
Nope.
STONES.
Nope.
Yeah. I
Your guy.
didn't believe it either. I didn't believe.
See, I don't remember the other one I saw, but it's something else like that, where the new spelling or the new spelling that they decided to use, or has always been, doesn't make any sense. See, Flintstone makes sense because they're cavemen.
Yeah.
These flint rocks.
Like a flint. Yeah.
That makes sense because
Right.
fuck, the font looked like it was made out of rocks.
Yeah.
So Flintstones.
Yep, it's Flintstones.
Bullshit.
Freaking Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. Apparently, for me, it was always, it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. And apparently he always says it's a beautiful day in this neighborhood.
You're a goddamn liar.
Yeah, there's tons of examples. I have been saying it wrong my entire life.
Well, that's like my Star Wars buddy. He and I were talking about some of the Star Wars.
I Am Your Father.
Yeah, Luke, I am your father versus No, I am your father.
It's definitely no. I went back and watched it.
He's convinced that, I mean, he said that one doesn't affect him, but some of that could just be, everybody just, pronouncing it wrong or remembering it wrong. But that's even kind of weird, right? That you would have, people who have been wrong about it for so long and nobody correcting anybody. That's kind of weird. But yeah, the concept is that every time that they, they start messing with quantum physics and stuff, where they're starting to make minor changes to the timeline, and so things, for whatever reason, some of us remember the things, some of us don't, because every time the timeline resets or whatever, depending on where you are in theory in that timeline, not all of the things would affect you. You could remember some of it, or none of it, or all of it. But again, of course, you also can't prove time travel's real.
There's that
science.
There's that side of things. There was one thing that I read that was like false memory syndrome.
Mm-hmm.
That's one thing that I read into on the subject, was that in your mind, if you convince yourself that something is true, it's true.
Well, yeah, they did there's a psychology study about that where they had showed this. They essentially accused the guy of doing this crime and said, well, we have video evidence of you doing it, and enough reinforcement of telling this guy that he did it. We can prove that you did it. We just need you to give us a confession, kind of thing. Over time, he became he convinced himself 100% that he did the thing that he said he did when he didn't, and but just enough of that reinforcement can reaffirm.
There are
that
stories.
idea.
There are stories of people beating lie detector tests like that, like honestly convincing themselves that they did not do something or did do something.
Well, lie detector tests anywhere are not as accurate as movies and stuff make them out to be. But yeah, I get what you're saying, because that's but to have like a a collective like that many people with false memory syndrome, get the fuck out of here.
Well, I think maybe
some MIB neuralizer shit going on there.
Well, okay, so I guess the way that I look at that side of things is if we're strongly influenced by other people.
Yeah.
And I think if you've got enough people saying the wrong thing, that it can influence you.
So you're trying to, or your defense for some of, not necessarily all of them.
Not all.
For some of the Mandela effect is just like group reinforcement. Collective.
I have not heard a single person say, "No, I am your father." I've not ever heard a single person say that.
Wait, yeah, neither have I. Matter of fact,
until I read it online, and then I went back and watched
interviews with James Earl Jones. When James Earl Jones has talked about doing the film and doing the voice, and he even quotes it as "Luke, I am your father." So
that's fucking wild.
I mean, it's true. That goes back to the whole silver leg, gold leg conspiracy with C-3PO. Again, my hardcore Star Wars fan buddy is like, no, he never had he always had the silver leg. Matter of fact, I read something that the reason his leg is red now in the new series is
his arm was red.
Or his arm was red. That's right. But that's a nod to the miscolored leg.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's kind of like just like,
I wondered what that was.
Now
about.
It's blatantly obvious. That was the explanation that I read, and it could be something more to it. But that's something. Sounds like something J.J. Abrams would do as kind of a nice. But give me another one. Do you have any more on your list?
Kit Kat, you brought up.
Yeah, the hyphen versus non-hyphenated. Apparently, it's never been hyphenated.
For me, it was always hyphenated.
Yeah, me too.
That's bizarre. Chick-fil-A is another one.
What about Chick-fil-A?
Again, it's just wording of the name. For me, it was always CHIC -Phil-A. Apparently, there's a K in there.
Oh, you thought it was CHIC?
Mm-hmm.
I always thought it was just CHIK.
Let me pull it up real quick. Hang
Okay.
on. Bear with me. Filler dialogue.
Oh, filler. I was looking up something as well. But no, the whole, I'm not saying I totally believe that CERN is doing, I like the fact that CERN's studying particle physics and whatnot. I do think it's weird that, once we discover like the Higgs boson and start discovering all this stuff about our universe, then all this crazy shit starts happening, like, misspellings of things, and that Flintstone thing has got me all fucked up, man.
Yeah, that's Febreze is another one.
Yeah, the Febreze. I heard about that one.
Apparently, it's never had two E's.
That's
before the Z.
Nobody spells like that. Who spells like that?
The way that it's actually spelled?
Yeah.
E-Z-E?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't get it.
No, two E's. Breeze. The word
breeze. Yeah.
God damn it.
I don't get it.
I don't get it either. I don't like it.
Fruit Loops is another one.
Isn't it two O's?
Yeah.
What the alternate is just fruit.
Yeah.
It's spelled like fruit. I'm trying to think if there's another one that I can remember offhand. But yeah, what are your thoughts on the CERN thing as far as not only the Mandela effect, but I saw this. You know how YouTube conspiracy videos can trap you, right?
Yes. I've been down that rabbit trail.
I saw this one where, and get your tinfoil hats ready. This is gonna be a big one. This guy was like he used to work for CERN, and I saw two versions of this. Similar story. One version went on to talking about how they opened a hellmouth and you know Satan and demons, et cetera, et cetera. And I was like,
life just turned into doom.
Yeah, pretty much. Which I don't know. Doom guy turned out okay. Apparently, our mortal weapons work against demons.
Apparently,
but the other side of that is that it's what they're actually doing at CERN is opening up portals into parallel dimensions and dealing with shit that shouldn't be dealing with. And some of the defense for that they're dealing with weird shit is like, I guess there's a Shiva statue like near the CERN lab. Shiva's one of the Hindu goddesses, and there's all this weird, and I understand that you can't just publish everything all at once, but matter of fact, there'd be too much information for you to just sift through, and nobody would understand it anyway unless you study particle physics. But I don't know, man. Crazy shit's been going down. I don't trust the government anymore.
Yeah.
You work for the government. You can't say that.
I mean, why is everything redacted?
But seriously, though, why
if
is
you don't have anything to hide? Why is everything redacted?
What?
Okay, so what I'm getting at with that, we talked about this earlier. I don't know about you guys, but I really get into conspiracy theories, and I got really excited a couple of years ago when it was getting ready to
the UFO disclosure.
No, it was the JFK disclosure.
Oh, the JFK disclosure.
Yeah.
Right.
I got really excited about that because I've watched a lot of videos, went down that rabbit trail of the JFK assassination.
How many seats were in that car? You heard about that one, right?
Do what?
How many seats were in the car?
No, what's that one?
I don't mean to interrupt. I saw this thing about the JFK assassination where, like, the footage is off, like the actual car, like there's pictures of the car and it's got like an extra seat, like it's still the same thing, but like it's a different car, like there's more people in the car that shouldn't be there.
Okay,
it's not just It was a one-off like YouTube video hopping thing.
Yeah.
But it was like there was a middle seat. Because I think in the original footage, there's the driver, the Secret Service, and then JFK and his wife in the back seat, right?
Yeah.
Apparently there's like, and again, it could have been something, photoshopped and just kind of put out there for misinformation. But I did see this whole conspiracy that people are convinced there's other footage where there was like a different in the middle where two other people were there, and that I guess one of the people in the seat in front of JFK actually turned around and shot him, if I'm remembering that story correctly. But that's because the car it was extended car, had the middle seat, had the double seats for the
gotcha.
It's like a Cadillac or whatever. Doesn't matter. It was just what it reminded me of, because like the JFK stuff gets deep. But continue.
By the way, I've been there.
What, to the grassy knoll?
Mm-hmm. Yep, I went there. There's like an X on the street where he was shot.
Really?
Yep, stood right there. That was pretty cool.
Was it?
It's in Texas.
Oh, what? I was saying, was it like weird?
Yeah, it was a little weird.
Because like what went down there.
I've seen video after video after video. So it was like this weird moment where I was like,
well, that's like after going to Europe and stuff. Like I've been to the places where anytime they do like a flyover shot of London, right? Mm-hmm. I've been there. So like it's kind of trippy now that when I see these flyover London shots, I'm like, been there. So it's not as fantastical as like it's a real tangible place now, which makes the viewing experience a bit different. But again, continue with the JFK thing.
Yeah, I was there. Anyway, I wasn't there. I wasn't there that day.
Holy shit!
But I went there, and yeah, there was an X in the street.
This is how we find out that you're a time traveler and
you
assassinated JFK.
Yep, that
You're
was
a
me.
monster.
I did that. No, I got really excited for the documents to be made public, and when they finally went public, I was looking through them, and everything is fucking redacted.
Oh yeah.
Everything is redacted. For those of you that don't know what redacted means, it's basically like if you've ever played Call of Duty Black Ops and you're looking at like the pages and stuff and they mark everything black, that's redacted. That's what redacted
well,
means.
it's the excuse is national security. You gotta protect secrets.
If you're not trying to hide things, then why is it redacted?
Well, the whole it's like, wow, you gotta protect your you gotta protect your people, and it's like, well, wait a minute, did you guys work for us? Isn't that what tax dollars are for? Did we elect all of you guys? I don't really know it.
All of you?
Like, I understand, you're trying to protect the overall country. I get that. I respect that. Don't give nuke codes to Kim Jong-un. Fine.
Yeah.
You can keep nuke codes out of the equation.
Redact
Whatever.
that shit.
Redact
Sure.
that shit. If you got spies that are placed, redact names. I don't care. But, like, come on. Give me a little.
I'm the type of guy.
Piece of information.
I will believe. I will attempt to believe whatever you tell me,
Okay.
but I'm curious for what the actual truth. So that's why I get into conspiracy theories. Is I don't believe that 9/11 was an inside job, but
Okay.
trust me, the videos are interesting, and I watch the shit out of them.
You
I
know,
eat them up.
Yeah.
So I'm not Rick over here. I'm not saying that 9/11 was an inside job.
I think the thing is that bugs me about with the 9/11 conspiracy videos and stuff. And I'm not I don't want to go one way or the other. I mean, I've seen enough videos where it's like, this is weird, but like I don't know. But the argument for that there's no, or that, that it couldn't have been an inside job, right? Because why would the government do that to us? The government does shit like that all the time.
Yeah, all governments
do that kind of shit to promote war.
Mm-hmm.
And they always have. The World War II.
We had this conversation.
Yeah, the British knew about Pearl Harbor.
They collected intel. They knew that the planes were coming in
before it happened, and
like a full day.
Yeah, like enough time for us to prepare, and refused to tell us because we refused to get involved in World War II and help them finish that war. So they let Pearl Harbor happen. This is, you can look up the information. It's been
it's public.
Yeah, it's public. In order to get us involved in World War II, and it worked. Because as soon as Pearl Harbor happened, it riled up everybody. Like, yes, let's go kill some goddamn Nazis. So, and that worked. It got congressional approval. It got the public behind it, and we went to war. And this kind of stuff happens all the time. So when somebody glosses over, 9/11 couldn't have been an inside job because why would the government do that? Fuck you. Government does that shit all the time.
Yeah.
Government does shady shit all the time. And I find it fascinating too that I've started to see a correlation behind anytime the government is under investigation for losing money or missing money or money not being where it's supposed to be. Mm-hmm. There's always some kind. I'm trying to think how to word this properly. Because I'm not trying to say that the government stages every single tragedy that's ever happened, because that's absurd. However, it does seem convenient that anytime that they're seriously under investigation, I'm trying to think of which one happened. They got me thinking about this. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Point is, I have started to see a correlation where you have the government's like, hey, Pentagon, where's all this money? Well, did you see that crazy thing that happened over there? It's scary, right? Bad people are bad and scary people are scary. Don't look over here. And then the whole public eye shifts. All the news outlets start shifting towards this thing that happened.
Mm-hmm.
And then nobody gives a fuck about the $6 trillion that's just gone.
God.
It just disappeared to the ether, and it's concerning, and I just wish more people would kind of look like, hey, something's not right here. We should probably do something about it. But anyway, where did that topic start? Mandela effect?
Mm-hmm.
Did we go from Mandela effect to 9/11?
9/11 was an inside job.
Shit, that's a hell of a
since we're talking about heavy shit right now.
Okay.
Let me ask you, Logan, because I don't know this about you, and I'm curious, and I think this is a good opportunity to have this conversation.
I'm scared now.
How do you feel about gun control?
Or I thought we weren't gonna go divisive.
I don't give a shit.
Okay, we're gonna start pulling out.
How do you feel about
here.
gun control?
How do I feel about gun control?
What is your stance on gun control?
I own a gun.
You do own a gun.
I own a gun.
What kind of gun do you own?
I have a 38 Special, Smith & Wesson 38
Okay.
Special long barrel, that I inherited from my
I
grandmother.
just became more attracted to you.
I don't ever carry it because I don't. For one, it's big.
Oh, yeah.
It's a big bulky thing, and I don't have any reason to carry it. But I also have a little. First gun I bought was a. It's you're gonna laugh at me, but I just wanted a little handgun that I could just carry with me.
No, I feel that. Yeah.
I just turned 21. It's a 22 pistol. This is a little tiny thing.
Dude, nah. Okay, hold up.
Okay.
I will not make fun of you for a 22. Okay. Do you want to know why?
Why?
Because a 22 will fuck your life up.
What?
It will.
I've been told the exact opposite.
It will
by
ruin
hardcore gun owners.
It will ruin your. Well, because they got little dicks and they got to make up for it somehow. Nah, dude. A 22 will fuck your life up. It will ruin your goddamn day.
So I bought this. I bought this. I bought this little 22, little tiny thing. It's by I think Phoenix Arms.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. It's
okay.
a blast to shoot.
Here is why a 22 will fuck you up. Okay, so I own an M1911. Yes.
They're so pretty.
I own an M1911. I love my gun. It's got the wood grain grips and everything.
Nice.
It's dope.
Is it it's the military version?
Yes. It's black with wood grips.
Nice.
It shoots a 45 ACP.
Okay.
So a 45, if I hit you right here, so I own my 1911 one because it's 1911 and fuck yes.
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
All
day long.
I wanted it for home defense.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So typically speaking, in a home defense scenario, I'm going to be about this far away from you.
Yeah.
If I shoot you from this far away with a 45 ACP, it's going to glide right through you. It's going to suck. It's going to put a big ass hole in you.
Yeah.
But it's going to go all the way through. Whereas if I were to shoot you from here with a 22,
it'll stop.
It'll stop, and that sumbitch is going to bounce around.
Oh shit! I didn't even think about that.
Collateral damage. That's
Okay.
what 22s are good for.
Okay.
Is collateral damage, because it's going to go in, and it's not going to have the force to go all the way through, but it's going to have enough force to kind of bounce around on your innards.
We should go shooting sometime.
Yeah, absolutely.
I haven't been to the. I used to go out and I had this buddy that was really into guns, and he used to go out and shoot at his dad's house, but unsafe gun practices. His dad, dude drank like a fish, right?
Mm-hmm.
But was like a hell of a shot still.
Yeah.
He laid on the ground on his back with a 12 gauge, and he was like, "Hey, throw that bottle up in there." So I threw this beer bottle that I had and straight up in the air, bullseyed that bitch on his back, drunk as fuck. I'm like, remind me never to like be a dickhole to you ever, because like you're gonna bullseye me from like across the yard. It's the same guy who started collecting, guns and bought the Smith & Wesson 500 just cause, which again. I love the engineering that goes into some of those absurdly large guns, but the 500 is insane. Why the fuck? I mean, the joke for like a Desert Eagle is like, why do you need a 50 caliber handgun for when there's a burglar behind the fridge at your neighbor's house. Because that's how far it's going to go. And it's going to go through all of those walls and the fridge and still kill the guy behind the fridge.
Yeah.
So yeah, you get up to the 500. Isn't that it's 50 caliber, but it's got more powder, right? If I'm not mistaken. Because
I can neither
it's a
confirm
huge
nor
it's
deny.
a huge fucking round.
Yeah.
I mean, it's massive. But I don't remember. Point is, I mean, just
Did I ever tell you the time I shot a Barrett 50?
no.
I've shot a Barrett 50 cal.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
I was a drill.
Okay.
And
Well, I assume nobody just
yeah.
I mean, I know can civilians own those? You can just buy a 50.
Yeah, you can buy a Barrett 50.
Okay.
Yeah. They're crazy expensive, but you can buy one.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's a fucking sniper.
When I shot one, it's insane. You don't think about how fucking large that round is
yeah.
until it's in your hand. It's a
Yeah.
magic marker. You're just throwing magic markers at people at like a ridiculous speed.
Well, so I remember playing Halo back in the day, and the I forget what it's called in Halo, but it's the sniper rifle in Halo, right?
Yep.
The big square box on the end. I never understood what that was for, and I asked somebody about it. I was like, why does it have this big square thing on the end? And he's like, oh, that's a weight. It's like, what are you talking about? He's like, no, you don't understand. The recoil from something that big is so great that the weight helps control that.
It's a compensator.
Yeah, it keeps your barrel from just flying up off the ground. I was like, okay, that makes sense. But but you don't think about how much recoil is going to come out of something, and so you start throwing magic markers, that
Downrange of people.
Downrange at people.
When I was firing, it was me and a group of like people in my platoon, yeah. And the force of the gas escaping the barrel through the compensator is so great that it was ripping the grass out of the ground. Like where we were firing, where it was set.
America though, right?
Yes. It was there were just two dirt patches where the gas was just ripping the dirt up. So personally, on gun control, since we're on this topic,
gotcha.
Personally, I don't think that any old Joe Schmo down the street should be able to have an automatic weapon.
Thank you.
Yes.
That's because
an assault weapon, yes, not an automatic weapon. There's a huge difference between an assault weapon and an automatic weapon. I don't think somebody should be able to throw 100 rounds per minute just because.
Yeah, I think there's a bit of a disconnect too with what's feasible and cost effective for like because the media always portrays it as guns are super easy to modify.
Yeah,
you can throw a trigger mod on it, which is true. You can
do that.
You can put trigger mods and stuff on it, but it doesn't. There's still a limit. There's still a firing limit.
Yes.
I mean, you can't just buy a gun off the shelf, throw an off the shelf trigger mod into it, and turn it into a fucking Tommy gun. You know what I mean?
And half the people that do that shit aren't out here mowing people down.
Well,
it's just for fun.
Yeah.
Just for shits and giggles. I wonder how fast I can make my gun shoot. Like that's. It's like I wonder how fast I can pull the trigger on my Xbox controller.
Yeah.
It's the same concept.
My stance on gun control, because the thing is, everybody goes through phases. As you start learning more about life and stuff. When I was in college, and you start developing your own opinions, I was pretty bleeding heart liberal, and not that I was. I've never been super hardcore gun control. However, you see places like Europe and Australia and countries that have eliminated guns and are doing okay. So it is feasible. However, the disconnect has always been America founded on the right to bear arms.
Yes.
Against an oppressive government.
Okay.
It is so ingrained into our society that even if you started to pass laws that removed all the guns, like Australia did it. I can't remember the comedian's name.
No, fuck that. If you're gonna come into my house, take my gun. I hope you can catch a 45.
No,
That's all I'm saying.
No, I respect that. what I'm trying to say is I can't remember his name. The Australian comedian. We were talking about him the other day.
Jim Jeffries.
Yeah, Jim Jeffries made a joke about gun control and the fact that had this huge mass shooting and the government took away all the guns and everybody's like that seems fair because all of these mass shootings are happening. However, like I said before, our entire constitution, the basis of the backbone of our government says guns are okay because we don't want to have a dickhole king like we had to turn away from to begin with. But I think my issue is you shouldn't be able to buy a gun at Walmart.
No, I don't think so either.
That's absurd. I mean, I think that you should be able to buy shotguns and even like hunting rifles at a place like Rural King.
Yeah.
In places that specialize in things like that, like that kind of department store. There is no reason for you to, even if it is chambered in 22, I don't care. Like, there's no reason you should get an AR-15 style rifle that's chambered in 22 at a fucking Walmart.
Yeah.
That is not okay. And and it just bugs the shit out of me. Same thing with, and that's where that whole, that concept of quote unquote common sense gun laws, if you have a mental disability, if you have a history of psychosis or violence or whatever, shouldn't be able to get a gun. That's common sense. But I'm not saying, because like I said, I own guns. I don't want I don't want to have to give up.
I don't want the big bad to come take my guns.
I want the big bad to come take my guns. But the other side of that is, all the guns that you can buy as like a gun enthusiast and stuff, it's not going to matter. We live now in a society where all of the biggest, baddest guns are illegal for civilians to own anyway. Mm. So if the government is like, fuck you, we're going to oppress you, there's not a whole lot we got drones and shit.
Yeah.
Fucking tanks. You can't buy rounds for a tank, which I still think is bogus. You can legally own a tank. You can buy a tank, but you can't buy the rounds for it. Why not? Go big or go home, man. Big old, what is a 20 millimeter shell, something like that?
I don't know.
They're absurd.
I'm not a tank guy. I don't know.
Okay, just go on. Continue.
My uncle owns a decommissioned tank round. It just sits in his living room.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's just a tank round sitting in his living room next to his chair.
My grandma actually, I told you she's ex-Air Force.
Mm-hmm.
She's got one of those. Oh, I forget how big I forget what it is because she's Air Force, so she collected some of that stuff. But I mean, this fucker is like a foot. And it's one of the gunship rounds. I mean, and it's of course the shell, and then it's got a mock-up round on it. It's just a fun desk piece.
Yeah, that shit'll ruin your day.
Yeah, that'll ruin your day, especially some of those tracer rounds coming in.
Yeah,
good God.
Okay, so the way that I look at it is, I see absolutely nothing wrong with someone owning an AR-15, an M4. Let's just be real. Okay. An AR-15 is an M4.
Fair enough.
Let's be adults here. I want an M4, and I will purchase an M4. Okay? Now, should it be automatic? Probably not. No. I shouldn't be able to, like I said, throw rounds down range at, 50 rounds per minute or whatever. There's absolutely no fucking reason for that. I can do controlled pairs, okay? So I see absolutely nothing wrong with an AR-15, M4, whatever. I see nothing wrong with it. I mean, even, a 5.56 round, like, whatever. It's not, it's going to go bang real hard and fast, but, I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. The way that I look at it is, yes, the whole purpose of the Second Amendment is to be armed well enough to defend yourself against your own government and other governments. So there's this quote out there, and I fucking love it. I eat it up. It's not a confirmed quote, but it's a quote. Some Japanese general, I'm not even going to try to pronounce his name.
Gotcha.
He was never confirmed actually saying this, but I think it still rings true. I've watched a couple videos on this topic of basically, not verbatim by any stretch of the imagination, but it kind of goes, invading the mainland of the U.S. is the most ridiculous thing that anyone could ever think of, because there will be a rifle hidden behind every blade of grass.
Well, yeah.
And I'm like, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Come on.
Well, and I think my issue, and some of this is too, it's perception. It's the way perception has shifted towards things, as far as anytime there's an incident with like a mass shooting or whatever, you have the liberals and stuff go after guns. Republicans are saying guns aren't the issue, people are the issue, et cetera, which is true.
My handgun is loaded. It's locked, loaded, and ready to rock on my nightstand. Has it killed anyone yet? No.
And some of that too is, you just, even if you wanted to get rid of guns, there's just too many here.
Well, we own like 74% of the world's guns.
I didn't know it was that much.
Yeah, it's
Holy
ridiculous.
Shit. But yeah, you couldn't do it. However, I don't see any problem with even limiting the I can even justify limiting the amounts of certain ammunition that you can purchase.
Nah, fuck that.
At a given time.
No.
You don't want a guy coming in buying like 60 boxes of 5.56.
Okay. Oh, okay.
That's what I'm talking about.
If you're walking in and you're buying them out, buying a crate.
I can understand when you have ammo shortages and stuff, because I've had trouble tracking down 22 long rifles. What my little
because everybody
pistols,
has one.
Because exactly, everybody's got one, and it's hard to. You can buy buckets of like 1,000. It's funny because I asked him about it. He's like, "Oh, we normally sell buckets of it." He said, "Fucking buckets of it. That's just a big old bucket of bullets." I'm gonna start that company, bucket of bullets. Ship it right to your house. But no, that's just my thing. I think that there is but this kind of dialogue. Like I said, I'm more, I'm not, I was like a bleeding heart liberal for a long time, but you also, as you get older and understand things aren't as black and white, there's a lot more gray to these issues. But the black and white's the only thing that's ever kind of talked about.
There have been a lot of scenarios where, armed robbery or what have you, where the situation was diffused a lot quicker because a civilian had a firearm.
Well, and I think that what needs to happen from the government stance is, instead of the NRA getting all like, "Well, you're trying to take my gun, fuck you," and the liberals being like, "We don't like guns are scary," you can actually have a dialogue. You could have a dialogue, find a common ground, like the mental disabilities, history of violence, stuff like. We don't let I'm trying to find the word here. Ex-prisoners? What's the fancy word for that?
Convicts? I don't know. Ex-cons?
Felons.
Felons.
That's the word I was looking for. Anyway, so we don't let felons buy guns.
Right.
There's a reason for that, And I think we can come to a common ground. Like, hey, Walmart, maybe you shouldn't be selling guns.
Yeah.
One
thing you got to think of
is, if you want to go to a gun store and spend X amount of dollars on a Barrett, cool, because they do all the fucking right paperwork.
Right.
You can legally buy a suppressor.
Yeah.
But you have to register in order to purchase a suppressor. You can't just walk
in and
you can't just walk in and pick one up. And there's that's why there's waiting periods on things. I think you can update the gun laws to facilitate both sides. The NRA guys are never gonna be happy until, you can buy, C4 at, fucking corner store and
gas station.
Walk
in and buy some C4.
And C4, napalm, the whole shebang.
Tannerite's fun as shit, by the way. I don't know if you ever shot tannerite.
No, but it looks like a lot of fun.
It's a lot of fun.
But and the liberals are never, bleeding heart liberals are never going to be happy until you get rid of all the guns. We go with like European style. The thing is, you can't do that now because we're too far in.
The way that I look at it is, no matter what, the baddies are going to get guns. and I want to be able to bring a gun to a gunfight.
True, but with the Australia thing, you have yes, the bad guys are going to get guns, but
The baddies.
they're so much more difficult to get, and they're so much more expensive. So let's say the ammunition for this retardedly outrageous expensive gun, because it's all black market, you're gonna be more careful about how you use that ammunition. You're not just gonna go to some club and just mow people down, because every single one of those rounds now costs you like $1,000 a piece. So that's kind of the other side of that card. If you were to make everything illegal, yes, bad guys are still gonna get guns, but bad guys are probably not gonna just mow down random civilians because it's not very cost effective.
Yeah, you never know.
Yeah, I mean,
Some people are just psychos.
Yeah, assholes are gonna. But all right, I think that's all. That's all the time we got.
Yeah. Yep.
So yes, we'll leave you with assholes are gonna be assholes.
That's what we've learned today, kids.
So yeah, we'll join you next week or join us next week. I can't say words.
Words are hard.
Yeah, words are hard. I'm Logan Taylor.
Austin Merrill.
See you next week.
Whoever is generating semi-musical noises on the bridge will please cease such activities immediately. I guess that